One of the big omissions for me when I was reviewing the Echo Show 10 was the fact that we didn't have Zoom video calling available on the device, and that has changed very recently, so you can go ahead, request that on the Echo Show 10 and use those same features that you love on the Echo Show 8. The other thing that was starting to confuse me was Amazon's own video calling service, but that is a lot clearer today, so I'm going to share that with you, plus I'm going to share a ton of new products that Amazon has for you in your smart home on today's Amazon Miss A updates and features video. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and today I'll be taking that frustration out of automation by keeping you up to date with one of the hardest to keep up with smart home platforms, and that's because we're always getting new products from Amazon, and those new offerings can fit in your home in a different way. And for me, even the old offerings do, and I recently complicated my smart home a little bit by adding an Echo Studio, and next week I'll be sharing with you exactly why I did that and what the result of that speaker addition was in my own smart home. But something that Amazon added to their lineup has me just as interested right off the bat. Amazon launched their brand new Fire HD 10 tablets, and there's a whole lineup of these, but what I am most impressed with or most interested in is the fact that we have 50% more RAM on this version versus the previous version. I think that is going to let us use the new show mode plus the new control dashboards. These are going to become more and more important for us. Plus myself, I'm wondering how that's going to benefit with sharp tools or action tiles. Not sure which one I'm going to use going forward, but that is really exciting for me to have that extra speed and capability of using things like that. And in terms of those different versions, you know what, it kind of goes from young kid to big kid, and there's even an in-between kid. So the young kids are probably looking at the Fire HD Kids tablet, and that's to be expected. That's kind of what we've seen for a number of years. But now you get those middle-aged kids, and actually, I have a middle-aged kid. I must be getting old or something, but it's called the Fire HD Pro. Now, you go to the really big kids, of which I am one, and I think the Productivity Suite is a really interesting version to look at. Budget tablet with a keyboard made for itself, and we're talking about that increase in RAM, plus a year of Office 365, so something to look at there. Now, why I keep talking about that RAM is actually another product I brought into my home recently. The experience with that was so poor that it tuned me in to just how important this can be. And this is a Lenovo product. It's the FHD M10, I think it is. I mean, it doesn't even matter if I say what the right product is, because this was so terrible in terms of an experience with Miss A, and it intended to use Echo Show mode, and I was really interested because it has its own dock and it instantly docks and goes to that Miss A show mode. But honestly, it is such a bad experience and such a poorly designed device with it being so underpowered that I'm excited for these tablets, and I'd love to see a little dock option there with those as well. One of the things I started doing with Amazon is I started a couple of subscribe and save options, and that's just where every month or every couple of months you're going to get a product. But one of the problems I found with that was that I would end up ordering too much product, or I wouldn't have enough, and it was usually not ever in between at just the right stock level. So that's why I was really interested in a new product from Amazon that unfortunately I haven't been able to use all the features on. But if you're in the US, this is a really interesting option because you can get one of these Dash smart scales, and basically whatever you put on there is being weighed, and as the inventory draws down, you can set a time to rebuy those. And so that will keep your stock at the right level. Now, again, I said here in Canada, I can't set them up, and they actually get set up through the Amazon shopping application. So it's not within the Miss A app or anything like that. It's actually through the shopping application, and that's why, unfortunately, I can't get it to work here in Canada. But I will ship a couple things down to the US and then have to ship them up for probably far too much money. A few other interesting things about these smart scales. You can always change what the product is that it's being weighed, and that will change the calculation. They only seem to measure about once per day, so you will have about a day delay. Also, you will find the smart scale shows up in your Miss A application in the list of devices, and there is a quick ability to go to the device settings where you can change to just get a notification that you need to reorder something instead of just having it automatically order. As of yet, there are no routine capabilities, so we're not seeing the ability to trigger off of this smart scale, but we did see a brand new action for getting style recommendations from Miss A, and that's probably related to the fact that the Echo Look is no longer sold. I have been waiting since I got the new Fire TV experience for this to roll out on the older devices, and I know that a lot of you have been waiting for that, but I was a little bit concerned when I started to see some of the performance with the new Fire TV stick that I had, but I think it was more related to it being a bit of a demo opportunity for me than it was actually the performance of that new interface, because as it rolled out to my Fire TV Cube and other Fire TV devices, I've heard nothing but good things, and I have experienced an absolutely snappy and quick new Fire TV experience on my Fire TV Cube. The other thing I'm kind of excited to do is to get one of the new Amazon voice assistant remotes. So this remote can be used with a number of different Fire TV products. You got to kind of watch whether yours is going to be compatible, but it has some of those quick launch buttons for the services you love, and it's a little more colorful, which I like, instead of just this all black version that we've had in the past that I lose quite easily. One of the more recent features on those Fire TV Cubes, though, is the fact that you can actually use a webcam and use Amazon's video calling service to call your friends or call your contacts that you have set up in the Miss A application. That's a big feature, actually, and I don't think many people know about it. That, in conjunction with some more clarity around the video calling service, I think explains how Amazon is going down this path of video calling. And where my first experience with this happened was actually at last year's hardware event, where Amazon was talking about these new devices they were just about to put out, and they were giving some of us creators a bit of a inside discussion, or just giving us a little more opportunity to ask some questions of some people there at Amazon. So that was great, but I was really taking note of the interface that we were using, because I had never seen it. It was Amazon branded, and it was called Amazon Chime. So I thought we were sitting on something that was a little more impactful than just Amazon's internal video conferencing system, and I was right, because Amazon actually announced this month that that is what the video calling service is, and I gotta tell you, it was really snappy, it was really well done, and I'm excited to see it continue to develop here. And I think you're going to see a few more features, including features that are like Zooms, with the chat abilities and the ability to just get more different types of content on the screen. So I'm looking forward to this continuing to roll out, but maybe I just saw the internal stuff. I don't think so, though. Sadly, though, I do have to tell you that you are losing a feature here on your Echo Shows. This is all the Echo Shows, and it is the Firefox browser. Now, what's happening with that is it is being removed, and you'll have to use the Silk browser. So if you have some bookmarks on there with Firefox, or you like one specific thing with Firefox, sorry, you're going to have to move to Silk, like right away. During that hardware event last year, Amazon talked a lot about their commitment to the environment and how they were going to help each one of us with the new energy dashboard. Now, when the first version of that came out, I gotta say I was less than impressed. However, there's a recent upgrade actually within the energy dashboard feature that has me feeling a little bit better about that commitment and actually seeing some opportunities to improve my energy usage. Now, it's still not perfect, because for a lot of devices you have to put in the energy consumption expected, and that's okay, but it becomes a time-consuming thing when you have a lot of smart home devices. The good news is there's a couple of makers like Philips Hue that have put that in there already. big deal actually for that lighting system as far as I'm concerned. But what helps now is the ability to break down a little bit better by week or by month. And you're not just breaking down by energy consumption, and then therefore any device you don't have energy consumption statistics or numbers pushed into those devices, you can't see anything about them. But you also have this ability to break it down by time. So that would be how often or how much those devices are used over those different time periods. And that will now help a lot more of you get your energy consumption at least estimated and start to narrow down or close off some of the energy usage in your home. And something I'm really enjoying and my tutorial videos are enjoying is the fact that we have a true dark mode, and it does shift. You know, we used to have that dark green in there, and now within dark mode, it's a nice black color. And then we have in the light mode, it goes almost totally white within that application. So you truly have that mode now. I was pretty impressed when I got to CES 2020, and one of the first things I saw was a Lambo with Miss A on board. And it was really impressive just to see that car and then to see Miss A in the car. But there wasn't a ton that we could do. Fortunately, that's been expanded with the new Lamborghini Huracan EVO. There's a ton more that you can do within that car with Amazon's voice assistant. I think it's really interesting how in-depth they've gone there. Plus, Nissan has actually partnered with Amazon to create more smart features for their cars. So if you're someone with a Nissan, and I used to have a really nice Nissan, if you have one of those, you might find a new skill or some new smart features with Miss A for your car. The other really interesting vehicle integration with Miss A actually comes from what I consider to be a fitness company at this point, but Garmin does make infotainment systems, and if you're as old as me, you'll remember the map, all those GPS devices that Garmin used to make. They were one of the leaders then, but they make infotainment systems for a number of car makers, and they have become one of the first top tier partners with Miss A. And so their infotainment systems can go in different vehicles. They could show up in a BMW, a Chrysler or Daimler Chrysler, Ford, Honda, Toyota, and something called a Geely. One of the reasons that I don't travel as much as many of you, other than the whole COVID thing stopping a lot of that fun, is the fact that I can be pretty far out of my comfort zone when I'm in another city, and I'm not necessarily going to push myself too far out of that comfort zone all at once. So oftentimes I'm unsure about how I'm going to navigate around a city, and actually Amazon has come out with something that I think will actually make me feel a little bit more at peace, because it will be part of my smart home that I can bring with me. Now, what I mean by this is that there's a new transit feature in many cities in the US, and Amazon has said that they will expand this feature beyond those few cities later this year. So I think we're going to see a lot of US cities get this feature, but what you can do when you're in that city is change your default commute type or default commute mode to public transit. And when you do that, your home and your destination addresses, you put those in, you make adjustments as you need, and you can add these places you want to stop along the way, and you'll get all of the transit information back for where you need to go. And I think if we consider that as people who want to travel the world, this is going to be really, really useful if it gets expanded outside of the US, because I don't always go to the US for my vacations. Come on. Amazon also put out the new second generation Echo Buds, and there's been a number of Ring products that have come out very recently, and we packaged that and all of the best new smart home gadgets for 2021 into the video you're seeing up on screen. So if you want to find out more about those products or about these other great smart gadgets that we found, go check out that video. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, guys, and of course, don't hate, automate.